A very good evening and welcome to Africa in Beyond Television Network. Indeed, it was a Merry Christmas. A lot of you, I know that you had to travel to different places and to different locations for the Christmas holidays. And I hope and believe that you traveled safely. Let us look at what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. George Charamba is coming out to issue a statement which is making a lot of people question what is really going on within Zimbabwe political arena. George says, I'm loyal to this flag. And this is the Zimbabwean flag. What he means, in short, is he's loyal to Zimbabwe, not to individuals. Remember, factional battles are at play within ZANU-PF. A lot is happening. And for somebody of George Charamba's stature to come and say, I'm loyal to Zimbabwe, he is actually sending a message, and this message can be put in two sides. Number one, George Charamba might be telling the people that he is not loyal to Mnangagwa, he is not loyal to Chiwenga, he is actually loyal to Zimbabwe as a country. So he can be telling people that he is not going to take sides or is not going to follow any faction. That might be the first thing we can talk about. Then the second issue might be George is trying to send a message and is saying that this is what a lot of analysts believe. This is the view of the most analysts I've talked to. They believe that George Charamba is actually sending a message that he is no longer a puppet of the Mafidi dynasty, or is not aligned to the Mafidi dynasty, and that will be something which is great. So in the past, we all know that the speculation was saying George Charamba probably was actually being accused of working with General Chiwenga. And if he's sending this message, what does this message mean? Is this message a way of trying to distance himself from Mnangagwa? What does it mean? So it's very interesting to see that these are the developments in Zimbabwean politics, and we need to understand Kuti, what does it mean politically. You know, we need to understand Kuti, you know, ukaona vanhu vakuita sevanorama kuti I'm not from this side or from that side, I'm only loyal to this side. What does it mean? So remember, he also at a certain point in time acknowledged that he was not in parcel with ZANU-PF. Does this mean that he doesn't have anything to do with ZANU-PF? He is now focusing on his job. So what we can take from what Judge Charamba said is he's saying that he is loyal to the state and not to party or individuals. And when you are looking at this, just know that a lot is happening. What it means is the man will be taking a neutral position such that he continues to be there as a trusted cadre by some comrades. So he will be mistaken as an ally of the other side and will be mistaken as an ally of the other side. Yet, according to him, he will continue to be in between and to be loyal to the nation. What it means is you won't be taking orders to either side or to ZANU-PF. So that is something. Also, when you listen to this message, this is a signal. When somebody says my allegiance is not institutional, is institutional, not personal, it then becomes a very, very big problem to those who will be trying to say, come to our side. And that is something which is very important. So for George to distance himself from the internal succession battles, that is something which a lot of people need to understand, because this is a chess player when it comes to Zimbabwean politics. And what prompted George to say this? Is it because there is a threat that he might be fired? Is it because he doesn't want to align himself with a losing faction? What is it? So you are looking at this. There is a 2030 agenda debate which is happening. There is a civil or military unease which is also happening. Either side, the civilians and the military, they are not certain of what is going to happen. So the coming of George in this whole equation is actually saying that those who are fighting for power, they are actually running things for their personal gain, not for the gain of the people of Zimbabwe. So George is saying, I'm going to be neutral, I'm going to stand with the people, and I'm going to do what is right. That might be the message. So this is about factional interests versus the issue of the national interest. But can someone pledge allegiance to the nation when he cannot tell what really happened to the elections in 2023? It's something which is very important to note. So this is a rebuke to politicians who have hijacked the state for factional gain. That is another belief which a lot of people believe in. So that is very important. So right now, whoever wins within ZANU-PF will not save Zimbabwe. What can save Zimbabwe is for us to have a complete change, a complete overhaul, to have a new generation in charge, but not a generation from ZANU-PF. So that is that. So what we can say in conclusion is, according to George Charamba, the state must survive irregardless of who is leading. So the state ahead of everyone else, and then that is a great message. So for those who believe kuti ari kusadira Chiwenga, George is saying andiko. For those who believe kuti ari kusadira Mnangagwa, George ari kuti nini andiko, ndiri kuside reZimbabwe. What it means is Zimbabwe nevanhu vayo. So politically we can say George is saying ndichange ndiripo 2030. That might be a message very, very clear from George kuti chero kwaya Chiwenga then ndiripo, chero kwa Mnangagwa karamba aripo then chingowapo. But will he survive the purge? Will he survive the war which is after him? So it depends on what does he actually mean. For those who understand politics, you see that you cannot give a conclusion. This is a very, very difficult moment for you to give political conclusions at this juncture. So the bottom line is, Charamba is saying that I save the Zimbabwean state, not personalities, not factions, or temporary political projects. So he's saying ndichange ndiripo, and a lot of people believe that George is trying to defend himself, and this is a well-calculated move by George, where he is choosing the state or the institution over individuals who can be replaced so easily. We learned it from what happened during the Mugabe era. George was at the middle, or at the midst of everything, at the center of everything, the negotiations whatsoever which happened. He was there, and he continues to be there right now. Although there was an attempt to fire him, he bounced back, and no one knows what really happened to the point but people believe Kuti there was a push from Tim Chiwenga to have George continue to be where he is. But right now, you look at Mliswa, you look at other comrades, they've actually outlined that there are fissures within the camp EOO. So George is no longer trusted, and they no longer want him within. But who else can replace George, and who else can do what George was doing all this while? Because for the survival of this government, they must acknowledge the work of George Charamba. Without George Charamba, it will be very, very difficult for this government to survive. It will work, but for a very short time. So that is that. Let us meet in other episodes as well as other broadcasts, your views and your thoughts.